Hello, good morning. Good morning. Happy Tuesday. I'm Carol. I'll be your teacher today. And how's everyone doing? So today's theme, we're going to be talking about social English. Social English. Let's welcome everyone in. Okay, now let's take a look at these pictures right here. When we look at these pictures, people at a coffee shop, we can ask, what are they doing? What are they doing? Yes, so they're having fun, they are drinking coffee, they're talking to each other, right? All different options. So they're laughing, they're talking to each other, they're having coffee, right? So today's theme, social English, right? And let's start with some vocabulary. Give me 1 second. Okay, so here we go. Let's look at the vocab number 1. How is it going? How's it going? How's it going? Right? When we want to ask, how's the person doing? How is it going? How are you? How is it going? You can say, I'm good, I'm fine, not bad, I'm okay, right? All possible answers. So, let me ask you, how's it going? Okay, all great answers. Now let's take a look at number 2. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you, we say when we meet someone for the first time. So it's our first time meeting that person. We don't know them, or maybe we already talked to them, but we haven't met face to face. So we can say, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. They'll probably say it back. Nice to meet you too. All right, now, what do you do? What do you do? What do you do? You're going to ask when you're interested at knowing what does the person work with. So, what do they do? Do they study? Do they just study? Do they work? What they work with, right? So, repeat with me. What do you do? So they can say, I am a graphic designer, I am a teacher, I'm a student. Great. Now let's take a look at where are you from? Where are you from? Repeat with me. Where are you from? This question we ask when we want to know what is the person's nationality. So, for example, if you ask me, where are you from? I'm going to say, I'm from Brazil, right? Or I'm Brazilian. So, where are you from? Are you from Taiwan? So you can say, I'm from Taiwan, or I'm Taiwanese. Okay? Now the next one here, we're talking about likes and dislikes. This was actually our last topic last week. We talked about expressing likes or dislikes. So when I like something, when it's something that it makes me feel good, it entertains me, it's fun, I'm gonna say I like, right? So for example, I like hiking. Now I don't like running, right? So I like hiking and I don't like running. Don't like, negative, right? Don't like. And like, positive. Now, that sounds interesting. That sounds interesting. When we say that sounds interesting, that means that we're interested in that. We find that interesting. It's a good idea. It's a topic that you like to talk about. It's an interesting topic to you. So you may say, that sounds interesting. Okay, good. Now here, you could say, really? Someone says something interesting, someone says something that's curious or that you've never heard of. You could say, really? So you're asking to make sure that you really understood or if that's really true, right? So you could say, really? And we'll see whatever they answer. So depending on their answer, we could say, oh, I see. Oh, I see. Repeat with me. Oh, I see. So you're saying something like, okay, I got it. I understood. Next on, do you have any hobbies? Do you have any hobbies? So when you're interested in getting to know the person you're talking to, you can ask, do you have any hobbies? So that means you're asking whether the person has a hobby or not. For example, cooking, hiking, exercising, painting, whatever is their hobby, right? So what would you say if I asked you, do you have any hobbies? Okay, nice. So basically, I don't know what I would say. Do you have any hobbies? I don't really know if I have any hobbies. I really like cooking, but that's part of my day. That's already part of my day, so I'm not really sure if that's a hobby anymore. Well, I could say I like baking as a hobby. So let's say baking. Now the next one is, what did you do last weekend? What did you do last weekend? So basically asking, what did the person do last weekend, right? So you're interested to get to know them or to find out if they did anything fun, anything interesting. So you can say, what did you do last weekend? They may say, oh, I was being a couch potato. So didn't do anything, just stay at home, sit on sofa, watch TV. Or, oh, I went to the beach. I went hiking. I went to church, right? Wherever they did, they can tell you what was their activities. Now, the last one, let's keep in touch. Let's keep in touch. So this phrase right here, let's keep in touch, is when we want to let them know that we want to continue talking, or when we want to continue to have a friendship or whatever is your relationship. So you want to still have a contact with that person. So you can say, let's keep in touch. Okay, good job. Now let's take a look at a few exercises. We're gonna have to fill in the blanks right here. Okay, let me. Okay. Let me remove this. Okay. So here we need to fill in these blanks, right? So we have A and B, so that would be two different people, right? A and B. So A here says hi. Remember, we need to fill in with this vocab that we just saw. So let me take a look at, let me copy and paste again the vocab so you can take a look. Maybe it's easier. Okay, so here we go. Here we have the vocab that we need to use and the exercise. So when I say hi, what could I fill in the blanks here with? Hi. How's it going, right? How's it going? Hi, how's it going? So here, hi. How's it going? Okay, great. Now, number 2. What could they answer? When we ask how's it going, we want to know whether they're good or not, right? If they feel good or not. So I could say, I'm fine. Thanks. Right? I'm fine. Thanks. Now here, what do you do? Because we can see here that they're answering about work. They're talking about work. So I work as a. So our question should be, what do you do? What do you do? So I work as a, just an example, I work as a coach, right? I work as a coach. Now, What is something else we could ask here? Expressing likes and dislikes. We could ask about their hobbies. Perfect. Hobbies. So we should use, do you have any hobbies? Do you have any hobbies? Perfect. So, yes, I like. Let's use my hobby as an example. Yes, I like baking. Yes, I like baking. Now here, that sounds, so we want to say, that sounds interesting, that sounds fun. So in this case, let's use that sounds fun. That sounds fun, right? Where are you? Let's fill in here. Where are you when we want to know what is the person's nationality, right? So where are you from? Where are you from? And then the answer, I'm from Brazil. I'm from Brazil. I'm from Taiwan. I'm from Canada. I'm from the States, right? Let's use I'm from Brazil as this example. And then, nice talking to you. So that's a way to end a conversation. Nice talking to you. And we want to keep in touch. We want to make sure that we keep on talking to that person. So we should say, let's keep in touch. Let's keep in touch. Okay? Nice going, everyone. Let's just go over and read this dialogue. Hi, how's it going? Repeat after me. Hi, how's it going? I'm fine, thanks. I'm fine, thanks. What do you do? I work as a coach. Do you have any hobbies? Yes, I like baking. That sounds fun. Where are you from? I'm from Brazil. Nice talking to you. Let's keep in touch. Okay, all right. Very good, everyone. Good job. So now let's move on to our next activity. Here is, it's also a fill in the blank. But you can use your own ideas to fill in the blanks. So let's take a look here. Let's start with hi. Hi, right? Hi, how do we ask hi? How's it going? How's it going? Right? How's it going? I'm good. Thanks. How about you? Right? So, how about you? You could say, I'm good. Or I'm fine. I'm fine. Now, when we want to ask about a job, right here, asking about job, we could say, what do you do? What do you do? Right? What do you do? I work as a, let's say I work as a graphic designer. I work as a graphic designer. Right? Now, when we want to ask about their origin or their nationality, we should say, where are you from? Where are you from? Good. I'm from Canada. I'm from Canada. Now, when we're interested to know whether the person has hobbies or not, we should say, do you have any hobbies? Do you have any hobbies? And yes, I like, let's say I like hiking, right? I like hiking. That sounds, could be a lot of things. That sounds dangerous. That sounds fun. That sounds interesting. That sounds exciting. So let's use that sounds interesting. Now here, what did you do when we want to ask about last weekend? So what did you do last weekend? Last weekend, let's say I went to the beach last weekend. I went to the beach last weekend. Now here, you can say, nice to meet you, or let's keep in touch, right? Nice to meet you, let's keep in touch. Well, this sentence here is not really in the right position, so let's just continue here. I went to the beach last weekend. Really? That's interesting. How often do you go to the beach? Really? That sounds interesting. How often do you go to the beach? I usually once a week. So let's say here, I usually go once a week. I usually go once a week. Now, who do you usually go with? In this case, who do you usually go to the beach with? Who do you usually go to the beach with? Let's say I go with my family or my friends. I go with my family or I go with my friends. Now, to wrap up the conversation, to end the conversation, but we suggest keeping contact or meeting again. So, let's keep in touch. Let's keep in touch. Perfect. Let's go over and read it and read this dialogue one more time. Hi, how's it going? I'm good, thanks. How about you? I'm fine. What do you do? I work as a graphic designer. Where are you from? I'm from Canada. Do you have any hobbies? Yes, I like hiking. That sounds interesting. What did you do last weekend? I went to the beach last weekend. Really? That's interesting. How often do you go to the beach? I usually go once a week. Who do you usually go to the beach with? I go with my family or I go with my friends. Let's keep in touch. All right, perfect. Good job, everyone. Now here, we're going to take a look at a dialogue, and then I'll ask you some comprehension questions. So first, let's read this together. Okay. So here we go. Coffee chat at the office. Tom and Lisa work in the same company, but in different departments. One morning, they met in the office coffee area. Hi, Lisa. How's it going? Hi, Tom. I'm good, thanks. How about you? I'm doing well. What do you do in your department? I'm a marketing assistant. I plan social media campaigns. What about you? I'm an accountant. I handle monthly budgets and invoices. That sounds interesting. Do you have any hobbies? Yes, I like playing basketball and reading books. How about you? I enjoy cooking and painting in my free time. Really? That's interesting. What did you do last weekend? I went to a cooking class on Saturday. It was fun. That sounds great. I went hiking with my friends. Who do you usually go hiking with? I go with my colleagues and a few friends. That's nice. We should organize a team activity sometime. Yes, let's keep in touch and plan something next month. Absolutely. Nice talking to you, Tom. Nice talking to you too, Lisa. Okay, perfect. So, now let me ask you a few comprehension questions about this dialogue. So, right here, what is Lisa's job title? What is Lisa's job title? So here, Tom and Lisa work in the same company but in different departments. One morning, they met in the office coffee area. What do you do in your department? I'm a marketing assistant. So, what is Lisa's job title? I'm a marketing assistant. What does Tom do at work? What does Tom do at work? What about you? I'm an accountant. I handle monthly budgets and invoices. So, what does Tom do at work? He handles monthly budgets and invoices. What are Tom's hobbies? Here they're talking about hobbies. So, what are Tom's hobbies? I like playing basketball and reading books. So, the correct answer, playing basketball and reading books. Next question. What are Lisa's hobbies? Lisa says, I enjoy cooking and painting in my free time. So, cooking and painting. Cooking and painting. What did Lisa do last weekend? I went to a cooking class. So, correct answer would be she went to a cooking class. Who does Tom go hiking with? Who does Tom go hiking with? I go with my colleagues and a few friends. So, correct answer, his colleagues and a few friends. Now, what do Tom and Lisa plan to do in the future? Let's keep in touch and plan something next month. So, they plan a team activity next month, right? We should organize a team activity sometime. Let's plan something next month. So, they plan a team activity next month. Good job, everyone. Now we're gonna look at a story right here, but we need to fill the blanks. So first, let's take a look at it. Quick look at it. Okay, so now here. Last weekend, I went to the adjective, right? So last weekend, I went, let's say, last weekend, I went to the amazing Brazilian Day Festival in, let's use my example, in Taipei. Last weekend, I went to the amazing Brazilian Day Festival in Taipei. The festival was full of, let's fill in with a plural noun. So the festival was full of colorful decorations. Decorations. Music and let's say delicious foods. And delicious foods. While I was enjoying the festival, I suddenly saw, I don't know, let's say I suddenly saw Angela. I suddenly saw Angela. It was amazing because, it's a boy. So let's say, I suddenly saw Andy. So I suddenly saw Andy. It was amazing because he had been working in, let's say he had been working in Canada for, let's give a number. So for 2 years. Right, so plural noun here. For 2 years. I ran over and said, "Hi, Andy. I can't believe you're here. How's it going?" He smiled and said, let's give a different adjective. It's great. It's great. I've been working as a let's say I've been working as a teacher, and I have learned a lot about, let's say, different cultures. So I've been working as a teacher and I have learned a lot about different cultures. I replied, "That sounds wonderful." That sounds wonderful. What do you usually do on weekends in Canada? He answered, I usually, let's say, go hiking and sometimes cook with my friends. I usually go hiking and sometimes cook with my friends. But today I'm happy to be back and let's say dance at this festival. We spent the rest of the day, so here we have to add a verb ending with ing. So we spent the rest of the day laughing, trying new foods, and singing together. At the end, I said, it was so, let's say, nice. It was so nice seeing you again. He replied, yes, it was. Let's use a different adjective. Yes, it was fantastic. Let's make sure we meet. Let's make sure we meet again soon. Perfect. Well, good job, everyone.